bit of Sophie Ridge's programme in about a quarter of an hour or so. OK, after the collapse of the travel agent Thomas Cook last month, Operation Matterhorn was launched in an attempt to get holidaymakers back home to the UK. Well, today is the last day of Operation Matterhorn, with the company's final 10,000 customers still abroad and hoping to be brought back home in the next few hours. Joining me now from central London is travel journalist Jill Starley-Grainger. Jill, thanks very much for joining us on Sky. It's been quite an operation, this, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been extraordinary, and I have to say the Civil Aviation Authority have done a fantastic job. It's gone virtually seamlessly. They have 94% of passengers home. And when you compare this to what's happened in past years with FlyBMI and Monarch, they've done a brilliant job. So kudos to the CAA, and thank goodness that they were organised and prepared for this.
Yeah, they knew it was coming, or certainly thought that it was probably coming, so they were able to get lots of things in place. Just give us an idea of the scale of what they had to do. So
around 150,000 passengers were abroad on Thomas Cook holidays when this happened. So that's a huge number of people, you know, flights all over the world. Thomas Cook really spanned the globe. So they've had to do dozens of flights to bring passengers home. They had to arrange to pay for new flights and get them in position so that when the collapse happened, they would be prepared to start bringing people back immediately, because all of Thomas Cook's planes were grounded, so they couldn't use their planes, so they had to arrange for other planes. So they've done a brilliant job of getting passengers home. Now, there have been a lot of other problems for people abroad, but as far as the flights have been going, that's all been going really smoothly. And I think they said something like 90 or 95% of people actually got back home on the same day they were due to return home. So there wasn't a lot of chaos in that regard either.
Something I've wondered about is why they can't keep a failed airline going just for a few extra days or weeks in order to bring everyone home. Why do they have to ground everything and then spend a fortune on this shadow airline?
I think it's because the companies that own the airline, so in this case Thomas Cook, are the ones that have gone into administration. So yeah, logically we would all think, oh, the CAA could just buy those, but legally they can't, because it's gone into administration, which means that everything that company owns stops immediately. And so that they can't then say, oh, we're going to do a side deal with you in order to get people home. It's very complicated. Logically, it doesn't make sense, but I think it has to do with the legal issues surrounding it.
OK, yeah, very interesting. Talk to me about the wider state of the industry. What lessons do you think are going to be learned now from this?
I mean, Thomas Cook has been struggling for some time, but all of the travel agents I know who are in a similar situation have been doing everything they can to adapt to the digital revolution. But regardless of what they've done, tourism is in a really difficult situation right now. The latest results from the Office of National Statistics have shown that there are 7% fewer holidays were taken in June this year compared to June last year, yet people are having to spend more when they do travel abroad. So you can understand why British people are simply not booking holidays right now. It's very difficult. People don't know what's going to happen with their jobs. They're all very concerned about the economy. So I think as far as what travel agents can do, obviously you want to do whatever you can to make your digital offering as strong as possible, because that's where everybody's booking. But beyond that, I think you need to be conservative and don't think about expanding and buying up, because that's where Thomas Cook went wrong as well. It started buying up lots of assets that perhaps it wasn't wise to do at the time that it did it.
Do you envisage a big scramble now for Thomas Cook's assets? I mean, all those valuable slots at airports, for example.
Of course, yes. You can imagine there are so many companies that are going to want those slots. Having said that, when I crunched the numbers of flights leaving the UK this summer compared to last summer, that's also down. So although a lot of airlines will want those slots, it might be that all those slots don't get bought up, because airlines might go, actually, do you know what? People aren't traveling as much. People aren't flying abroad as much. So maybe we only want to take the most lucrative slots. And what that's likely to mean is that those passengers in smaller airports and servicing more niche routes might find that suddenly there is no route available anymore. So it could be that nobody wants that slot at all, which would be a real tragedy. But I do suspect that not all of the slots will be bought.
OK, good to get your thoughts and analysis. As always, Jill Starley-Grainger, many thanks.
Thank you.